Hi, I'm Steve Squire. I was born and raised in Kansas City, Kansas, and lived at 22nd and Riverview. I went to Park Grade School, Central Junior, and Wyandotte High School. I had one brother, 9 years older. We were brought up in the Catholic Church, and I went until I was around 11 or 12. We had one bathroom, and us boys would fight over it some Sundays, getting ready for church. And Mom got tired of it and said, "We just won't go to church anymore." We never really talked about God or Jesus or never prayed, but I did have a St. Christopher medal on a necklace I wore and a plastic St. Christopher with a magnet on the bottom to stick on the metal dash of our car. It wasn't long a friend invited me to Youth for Christ one evening. This is where I had my first opportunity to go forward and I got saved. Seemed to be about 2 weeks later. I wondered why nothing miraculous happened to me. I felt no different, nor did I stop my ornery behaviors. I don't recall any further instructions like read the Bible or go to a church. I guess if I had changed, I wouldn't be giving you this testimony right now. I felt I had a good childhood, good parents, mean brother. My parents did spank me, but never abused me. Of course, my principal in grade school spanked me with a paddle with holes in it. Was that for less wind resistance? I think I only had to visit her once and I got the message. I will get to the point of how life started out fun and exciting but would later turn into a nightmare. One of my first jobs was at a restaurant, and there my friends and I met some older boys and learned how to have a beer or two after work. I had seen my parents drink and been to bars with them, and it seemed that people were always laughing and having a good time. I must say, I liked drinking and feeling sort of funny. One evening, I thought I would steal a case of beer and set it behind a dumpster at work. My first problem with alcohol. The owner found it and fired me. I seen the best way to keep having fun was to have someone older buy it for me. I was now finding additions to beer, like Boone's Farm Strawberry Hill wine. Forwarding to age 17, where I got braver, or maybe I should say, made more dumb decisions. A guy at school offered me some marijuana, and I was scared to try it. I believed it would lead to other drugs. He assured me it wouldn't, and I gave it a try. I remember I liked the effects of a few beers and a little pot. I was pretty shy and wore my feelings on my shirt sleeve, but I felt loose and not so shy when high on something. Also during age 17, I started smoking cigarettes and had my first sex with an older woman that asked me to come to her apartment after I got off work at the gas station. I had friends that liked to cruise State Avenue, race, get high, womanize, and go to bars. Pot was expensive for me, so I figured if I bought some and sold some, I could have some for free. I did the same with cocaine, sell a little and have some for free, not really thinking about the consequences of doing that. I would go on to try a variety of other drugs, but I never really got addicted to any. Some was 1 or 2 times trying it, and I moved on. Age 20, I got a dream factory job, good pay and benefits. Age 22, I met a gal I really liked on State Avenue, and she became my steady girlfriend. Remember, I was a womanizer when I met her, and I felt no reason to change, just be sneaky and hope she didn't find out. I thought I had it all together. Great job, cute gal, money, fast car, I dressed cool, had lots of drugs. Forwarding to age 27, 28, a friend showed me how to cook cocaine into something called crack. Instead of snorting cocaine, you smoked it. I immediately got hooked. My best comparison is when you have a hunger pain, and no matter how much you eat, it won't go away. I would sit for hours, and the only thing that made me stop was running out of money or no way to hawk something at that time for more money. As this progressed, my savings ran out, and I would work all the overtime I could get to try to get back on track. Problem is, the more I made, the more I spent. My life was getting out of control. I would tell my girlfriend numerous weekends that we would go out on a date, and so many times I would spend my whole paycheck on a Friday night. I said I was sorry so many times I wore it out and couldn't even say it anymore. I made my regular shift at work just fine, but saying yes to overtime and canceling or being tardy for it got me into trouble. I was seeing I had a problem and was trying to moderate or stop crack completely. I finally went for some help to a psychologist, and he recommended going to a treatment center. I said there was no way that I would go to a treatment center and let everybody know that I had this problem. I kept it pretty hidden except for my gal and some close friends. He then mentioned trying a couple of AA meetings. I did try that, and I went to this AA club in Westport, and I recall seeing the 12 steps on the wall and how some seemed weird, even scary to me. I met with a small group in a room where they told me about how they got there. After the meeting, I thanked them and thought, what a bunch of sick people. Glad I'm not that bad. That was in 1989. I would continue to try to stop or fix myself. The more I tried, the more I spiraled down. I neglected my girlfriend more and continued to mess up with work. I felt so lost, depressed, embarrassed, and ashamed. I got very good at lying, cheating, being critical and judgmental of others. Thoughts of suicide were more frequent. Oh, I could wear a three-piece suit and have a smile on the outside, but inside I felt ripped up like with razor blades. One of my most painful days was when I intended to be at my girlfriend's for Thanksgiving in 1990. I got off work Wednesday at 3 p.m., and sometime that evening I thought I'd go do a little crack. I spent that evening and all day Thanksgiving till 7 p.m. in a dark basement smoking crack. I finally made it to my girlfriend's house, and I could sense the disgust they had for me on top of the shame and disgust I already had on myself. I fully understand Paul, what he wrote in Romans 7:13 through 20. I'd like to read that. I don't understand myself at all, for I really want to do what is right, but I can't. I do what I don't want to, what I hate. I know perfectly well that what I'm doing is wrong, and my bad conscience proves that I agree with these laws I'm breaking. But I can't help myself because I'm no longer doing it. It is sin within me, stronger than I, that makes me do these things. I know that I'm rotten through and through so far as my old sinful nature is concerned. No matter which way I turn, I can't make myself do right. I want to, but I can't. When I want to do good, I don't. And when I try not to do wrong, I do it anyway. Now, if I'm going to do what I don't want to, it is plain where the trouble is. Sin still has its grasp on me. I really wanted to keep my promises to my girlfriend, my work, and myself. I was starting to think crack has won and I would smoke it every day till I die. Once again, I was asked if I wanted to work overtime April 18th of 1991 at 11 p.m. I got off that day at 3 p.m. and agreed to come in later. I gave into the tempting thought of getting a little crack that evening. I kept thinking I need to be at work on time. They had told me one more tardy or cancel and I was fired. It was getting close to 10:45 and I raced from across town and pulled into the parking lot to see people from second shift coming out. Right then, I know I had no chance to get to the time clock by 11. I instantly broke down into tears and called my girlfriend to take me to a treatment center. I finally reached my breaking point where I ran out of ideas and I wasn't worried what others thought about me going for help. I was finally honest with myself and others, open-minded to listen and learn, and willing to do what people told me I needed to do. After 30 days, I really didn't want to leave the treatment center. I felt safe. I was elected president, and I gained back 30 pounds I had lost, down to 159 at that time. My first day out, my girlfriend broke the news she was dating someone else the last 2 months. And then 2 weeks later, my work let me know that I was fired for not getting the help sooner. So a 12-year relationship and 14 years at the same job were gone. I followed treatment by going to AA meetings daily, 3 to 4 times a day, and also church every Sunday. I had attained 145 days of sobriety, and things were going pretty good. I got an idea one day that $10 a crack sounded good. After spending $300, I thought, how could I be so stupid? That was September 12th of 1991. I went back to AA the next day and told them what I did. I slipped up. I hadn't worked all the steps yet, so I got a new sponsor and took my seriousness to another level. My sponsor always told me that he cared more about my life than my feelings, so he would always tell me the truth, whether it hurt or not, and I liked that. When it was time to do the third step, I was so very convinced I couldn't save myself and I needed the Savior. I drove out to Wyandotte Lake, pulled down one-way road, and parked where I could look across the lake and see the colorful fall trees on the other side. Though I got saved back at age 12, this time was different. I was much more humble and sincere, and I asked God to take over my life and show me His ways. The trees and everything around me became blurred as tears flowed profusely down my face. This is where I was born again. I chose this day to share because Jesus has taken any desire or cravings for alcohol or drugs away for 29 years. On that same day, 13 years ago, He did the same thing with cigarettes. I used to think seeing was believing, and things of this world would bring me happiness, contentment, peace, and joy. I thought more money, more material things, gambling, sex, drugs, and alcohol, a new or another relationship, escaping by running, hiding, working, helping others, playing noisy music to crowd out my thoughts, even ministry, helping others. I could get buried into helping everyone else but myself. I could only fill the void in my heart and soul with Jesus Christ. No matter what you've done or what has been done to you, Jesus is in the healing business. I want those that may hear this and be hurting that celebrate recovery as more than alcohol and drugs. It is for any hurts, habits, or hang-ups. If ever you want to talk, I'm here for you, and all things are confidential. Thank you.